Question 16. Which of the following is the main reason that solar panels are not used to generate power in large cities? Is it because they do not have enough power for a whole city, they are not active at night, they are very fragile, or because most cities already have a renewable power source? Let's go through our options. Most cities use fossil fuel or nuclear fuels for their electricity. Fossil fuels are certainly not renewable. Nuclear fuel will last longer than fossil fuel, but ultimately it will run out too. This is not the reason we don't use solar panels. Solar power panels are kind of fragile. That's not the reason they're not used. We can always put solar panels out of the way so that they can receive a lot of sun, but are protected from other things. Part B at first looks pretty promising. They are not active at night. However, we can store the energy produced by solar panels in batteries, which can then be used to produce energy during the night. The last option is A. They do not produce enough power for a whole city. And in fact, this is the correct answer. Today's solar panels are quite expensive and quite inefficient. It means that we would need a very, very large amount in order to power an entire city. And so instead of this, we tend to use things like coal or nuclear power to power the city rather than solar power. Question 17. The voltage of an AC signal is stepped up before it is transmitted long distances. Compared to the original signal, the stepped up signal is either high voltage low current, high current low voltage, high velocity low acceleration, or high acceleration low velocity. I'll tell you right away, it does have something to do with voltage. Now, we know that electricity, when it's sent long distance, is sent over high voltage power lines. Now, these power lines have nothing to do with velocity or acceleration, but if it's being transmitted long distance by high voltage power lines, then we must be able to imagine that the high voltage is one of the defining features of the power lines. And so, our correct answer is high voltage low current. It turns out that the low current is able to reduce the amount of energy lost as the electricity travels through the wire, and the high voltage allows it to still carry a lot of energy. Question 18. Satellites in outer space do not have access to the main power grid. What would the best power source for a satellite designed to last a long time be? Alright, so we have a satellite, it's in space. It has a number of different options for the power source. We can't really do wind or water because we don't really have wind or water in space. We could do coal, but we'd need a lot of coal to produce electricity that would last a long time. A better fuel supply would be a nuclear power source. But as long as we're in space, there's one sort of energy that will last even longer than nuclear power. That is, of course, solar energy. So solar power would in fact be the best source of energy for a satellite. That's why most satellites have very large solar panels that almost look like wings. So in space, it's never night because we're never permanently in the shadow of a planet, so the satellite will always be able to receive power from the sun. In space, there is also no air or clouds, which normally block some of the flow of sunlight that we would get from the sun. So in space, because neither of these problems exist, solar panels are more useful than they are on Earth. Question 19. Are portable generators environmentally friendly? Explain your answer. Well, first we're going to have to think about what we mean by environmentally friendly. If something is environmentally friendly, it does not produce a negative effect on the environment. So what happens when we activate a portable generator? Well, we burn fossil fuel, which is not environmentally friendly. Portable generators use diesel fuel, and so they are not environmentally friendly. Diesel fuel is a fossil fuel. Burning it produces carbon dioxide and other pollutants when it's burned, which I'm sure we'll all agree are not very good for the environment. Question 20. Are we likely to continue using electricity in the future? Explain why or why not. Well, as I'm sure you've guessed already, our answer here is probably going to be yes, we are likely. Electricity is a form of energy that is very easy to transmit, which makes it useful for computing and communication, not to mention energy transmission. When large amounts of electrical energy are produced at a power station, we can send it over very long distances through high voltage power lines without losing energy. This means that we can use it industrially, or we can use it in the home, or we can use it to send messages. And it looks like we are going to continue doing that for a very long time to come. So that's the end of the questions. In this section, we've learned about the transmission of electricity, as well as some of the future of electricity.